niggas acting too crazy, and them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense, rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brain, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet, and this morning I'm here with you alone, and we wish Rhea well wherever she's out there in the world. Continue to be safe. Continue to be safe wherever you are out there. We are missing you here in studio. Indeed. Viewers, we have a number of things. This has been an interesting week in the Tobago space. Very eventful day yesterday, indeed. But we'll touch on that within the news and a little later on. But this morning I want to start off. It's International Youth Day. It's International Youth Day 2022. And we continue to celebrate here in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, the world at large with International Youth Day. And this year, International Youth Day operates under the theme intergenerational solidarity and creating a world for all ages. Very interesting and fitting theme for 2022. We want to wish Happy International Youth Day to all our young persons. And indeed, more importantly, I want to say that, now is the time, now more than ever, to respect the contributions of our young persons, to continue to meaningfully include our young persons based on their capacities and their skill sets. I am one totally, I will tell you very clearly, if you know Julian Skeet any at all, 100% in support of youth development. And I am not in favor of a tokenism kind of approach in terms of including and engaging young people. And therefore, I want to remind on this International Youth Day, adults, those well experienced and in senior positions, those having that opportunity. This is our time to ensure that we incorporate and we include our young people in a meaningful way. Because I have a very simple philosophy, and any young person that has worked with me will tell you, the young persons will take over. You have the option to either prepare us to take over, we will take over without preparation. You make the choice. All right? So we're wishing a happy International Youth Day. And this morning we'll be going into discussions that looks at International Youth Day celebrations and other areas. But just before we head on there, we head on over to news in 90 seconds with Candice.
Thank you, Julian. And here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 12th August 2022. The court granted an injunction to halt the eviction of residents in Crampton Trace One Accord. 7 families are yet to settle negotiations with NIDCO as the state moves to acquire their properties to make way for the construction of the new airport terminal. Yesterday, police, acting on the instruction of the Commissioner of State Lands, were ordered to evict residents, causing an uproar. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine intervened and ordered the state's legal counsel to work with the residents' attorney for an emergency hearing in court. Additionally, the THA is working with affected residents to find a solution for accommodation until the matter is settled in court. Meanwhile, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is confident in Tobago's carnival hosting abilities. He was speaking at yesterday's Post-Executive Council press briefing, where he responded to National Carnival Committee Chairman Winston Gypsy Peters' comments involving the NCC in the hosting of Tobago's carnival. Augustine stated Tobago is accustomed to hosting many events annually and therefore does not need the assistance of a government entity to host a successful carnival. Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary announced that Trinidadian promoters and mass bands are involved with Tobago's carnival, and all will be revealed at the launch next Wednesday. Additionally, he said a month-long calendar of events leading up to carnival is planned. Several Trinidadians were detained by Grenadian authorities following a brawl on board the Harbour Master in Grenada on Wednesday night, where Grenada's javelin world champion Anderson Peters was beaten up and thrown overboard. He sustained no serious injuries. In a statement, the Royal Grenada Police Force stated investigations are ongoing into the incident. The Harbour Master is owned by Adrian Schoon, son of Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Trade and Industries, Paula Gopi Schoon. The vessel is in Grenada taking part in the Spice Mass activities. Meanwhile, the incident sparks an anti-Trinidadian uproar in Grenada. And that was your news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Julian.
Thank you very much there, Candice, for bringing us the news in 90 seconds, really giving us insight there. A lot happening in the Tobago space yesterday, in particular, very eventful within the Crown Point area. And we, of course, saw a very firm position being taken by the Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary. And it's fitting on International Youth Day to see our very young Chief Secretary, young and capable at that, certainly taking a very firm position and a stance in relation to the situation taking place. And similarly, we would have had a response coming. I saw a number of responses coming forward based on statements from the Chief Secretary, from the Ministry of Works, and also a response and a release coming out from the Minister of Finance through the Ministry of Finance in relation to the said situation. More importantly, what appears to have occurred, there appears to be some communication in between, because in one instance, the Minister of Finance is responding to indicate there appear to be some misunderstandings with the appearance of an issuing of an instruction, and then you have the Chief Secretary saying, but I didn't see that I issued an instruction. More importantly, there has been what appears to be a halt in this situation, and we look forward to seeing what the further developments would be, because I have also received information that says Minister Shamfa Kajo, our Member of Parliament for Tobago West, is also providing information that says that these eviction notices would have been issued from as early as July, so that these persons were aware just about a month ago. In the follow-up, we even saw the senior officer there on a screen, Junior Benjamin, confirming that the details regarding eviction notice and so on would have been presented. We're seeing on screen here Assemblyman Sonny Craig, Assemblyman Joel Sampson, and also the head of the peace movement, Rhonda Hackett. And it's a very interesting kind of development, but it comes back to a central point. One of the perspectives that I'm gathering is that a number of persons have negotiated, taken the relevant package and have moved, but have since had challenges in relation to occupying their new space, as the case may be, and that would have been offerings, whether it be through, I think it is Chauvin and or Cove, and then you had a situation where this individual in particular has not completed the negotiations, and you have indications coming forward that there's some kind of removal and resistance accordingly. So it's a very interesting development that's happening there, and we look forward within the coming hours, I should say. I don't even think we have to wait as long as days or weeks, but within the coming hours to continue to get updates in terms of the happenings in relation to this matter. All right, so viewers, as I said this morning, today, the 12th of August, we are celebrating International Youth Day 2022, and the theme, International Solidarity, Creating a World for All Ages. And viewers, today in particular, I want to challenge you, those of you joining us online. I want to see comments. I want to see you joining in the comments today to highlight a young person, Put a name there for me and give me a one-liner about this outstanding achievement of this young person. Because I'm sure in your family, in your church, in your groups, in your workplace, in your organizations, there is that young person that continues to do excellent work and continues to impress you. And I'll start off right here at the Tobago Updates. I want to highlight and recognize our very own youth host, Aaliyah Holder, in terms of continuing to do exceptional work out there as a young person in the field, founder of Youth Elevating Youth, doing work within our Tobago Youth Assembly program and a number of areas, representing us and making us proud. And I'll continue for the morning, and I want you to join us and put a name out there for me. Tell us about that young person doing well. It can be a one-liner. Tell us about the area that they're doing well, and feel free to mention where they're from. So I want to see you joining in on the live this morning. That's what I want to see our comments focused on, highlighting our young persons doing outstanding work here in the Tobago space, and in fact representing us regionally and internationally. And therefore, on that vein, I want to indicate to you that our first interview this morning, we'll be speaking with two outstanding young persons, Kaylee Lewis and Alex Job. And this morning we're speaking to International Youth Day and the forum that will be taking place today with a focus on youth and tourism. So we look forward to those discussions that will be happening. And we continue this morning with conversations with Dr. Faith B. Israel and Dr. Nathaniel Duke. And we're going to be speaking to the cataract backlog. But because it's International Youth Day and the theme is intergenerational solidarity, creating a world for all ages, they got to start by telling me in that interview, as the division with responsibility in terms of looking at our healthcare and that wider cross-section of society, how important is a team like this today on International Youth Day? And then we close this morning with Yarel Phillips, and he's a member of I Love Tobago Walkers, and therefore we'll also be chatting in relation to that weight loss journey that he would have gone through as we continue to inspire and to encourage all. So that's an idea of our rundown here for this morning. Remember, folks, it's International Youth Day, August 12th, 2022. All right, and just before we head on out, remember, this is your chance to join in the comments and the lineup. But just before we head back there, I want to enter into the segment that treats with birthdays. We can't forget our birthdays in the lineup. Our birthday celebrations this morning. All right. And we begin this morning with Jamila Joseph, wishing you a happy birthday, and indeed God's continued blessings. Birthday greetings coming out from Tobago Updates. All right, if you don't know this face, well, let me just tell you, this is Arnold Lindo. All right, critical and the man behind Smash Radio. One of the frequencies that we are carried on here is the Tobago Updates morning show. So we say birthday blessings going out to Arnold Lindo. We're also sending out birthday greetings this morning to Andre Alexander, wishing you a happy birthday, Andre Alexander. In our lineup this morning, Dale Rollocks, wishing Dale Rollocks a happy birthday. We have on screen with us Dale Rollocks this morning, wishing you a happy birthday. And birthday greetings going out to Michael Coppin. Michael Coppin, wishing you a happy birthday. And Michael would have also been one of our young former senators within the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. We're also sending out birthday greetings, and special birthday greetings at that. And this comes from Auntie Ria and the entire family. And Auntie Ria is sending out these birthday greetings to her nephew Omari Alexander. And this comes from your mommy and the entire family, wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings. Our birthday lineup this morning. All right, viewers, at this point I want to remind you again, the comments I want to see on our live this morning, put any name there, any young person that's doing outstanding work that we want to highlight, and give us a one-liner. What have they been up to? Why do you consider them outstanding and you want to highlight them this morning? Any young person, whether it's within your church, within your school, within your community, wherever that young person operates, this is our time this morning on the Tobago Updates morning show to highlight the excellent work of our young persons for International Youth Day 2022. All right, viewers, at this point, this is your reminder as we prepare to head on out to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, good morning. This world is getting so cold. I want wanna keep
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:15 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. It's International Youth Day 2022, and as I said, I want to see you in the lineup on the live. If you're a guest on set with us this morning, you know you got to say something about International Youth Day and its relations and its connections accordingly as we celebrate the excellence of our young persons. And I want to drop another name out there, our very own youth host, Jenny Campbell, continuing to do exceptional work up there, connected with the Roxborough Police Youth Club, also president of the Tobago Youth Council, and having been involved in the Tobago Youth Assembly program and a number of other areas, as I fondly call her, Miss Heritage Personality. Again, congratulations, another outstanding young person, and I love the fact that you are joining me in the live with it, as I would have asked. We want to highlight Skylar Norrie for starting her own business. Outstanding young persons. Aliyah Holder, I'm proud to see the woman she's growing into. I also see on the mix this morning on the live, we have Tori Charles highlighting Jasha Digans, an awesome job motivating youths all over Trinidad and Tobago. So let's keep it coming on the live, folks. And in this segment, we are chatting with two very outstanding young persons here within our Tobago space. Kaylee Lewis, former Junior Secretary of Tourism, and Alex Job, also a member of the Tobago Tourism Youth Council, and Alex would have also had the opportunity to represent us at the University of the West Indies on that council, also treating with tourism. Morning to you.
Morning, Mr. Steve.
Good. So are we going to start with Alex in the mix this morning? Before we even go into the topic, we're starting on the conversation of International Youth Day 2022. And what does this theme mean to you? Intergenerational solidarity and creating a world for all ages.
So I must start off by saying that intergenerational solidarity, creating a space, a a world for all ages. I think it's quite fitting for today and quite fitting for this year, and I think we need all the ages involved. It's not just that you are older and I think you could be able to handle everything. I think that young people need to be given a chance, and need to be given a chance now. It's not just wait a later down the line. I like the point you made earlier, that we are going to take over eventually, either by will or by force. So it's quite fitting, and I think the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation is leading the charge, especially with the activities today.
All right, Kaylee. Lewis, what does it mean to you, the theme for International Youth Day 2022?
Okay, so I want to agree with Alex in terms of the theme being fitting, especially for the time that we are living in now. I think that we definitely need to bridge the gap between the the generation before us and our generation. So I think, a lot of initiatives are happening. I know the Division of Tourism is definitely starting the activities today, and then later on in the week, next week, we're going to have some other organizations doing some other things to actually bridge the gap between the generation before us and this generation. So I definitely think it's fitting in terms of, technology and that kind of thing, to be able to teach the older generation so that we could bridge the gap and we could have a world for all, so that everybody could be able to participate in all the activities, because we know that most things are online now. So I definitely think that it's fitting for the time that we are living in.
Excellent. So as we talk International Youth Day 2022, we're diving into the focus on tourism. And this is my opportunity to say good morning and shout out to Ms. Sandra or Tony. Morning to you out there in the Division of Tourism. So tell us about the initiative that's happening today. Where is it going to be taking place? What's happening exactly? And why is it important for young persons and all ages alike to come out and support?
Today's initiative is it's commemorating International Youth Day, which will be taking place at the Division's compound at St. Cecile. So this is all about edutainment and allowing expressions and promoting youth entrepreneurship and boosting youth entrepreneurship, right? So it's really important, especially with I want to go back to the edutainment part, because it's not just entertainment through education, but the education is very important, right? Especially in tourism, and that's a passion for me. And this initiative will allow persons to, other than the sun, sea, and sun that all people persons get the stereotype about, there are other aspects of tourism that you could get into. There are other areas outside of tourism that could actually directly impact tourism. So you could create a business and cater to the tourists coming to the island. So I think today is a really important day to showcase the entrepreneurial young people. There's people like Cardi that's smart as well with her business, and a lot of young people, even the writing lab and all will be there. So persons, the YES program and all will be a part of the program. So it's really informative and important for young people to to be a part of it.
All right, excellent. Kaylee, tell us particularly, this event is happening today in commemoration of International Youth Day 2022. It takes place at the St. Cecile on the compound, where there will be that continued highlighting and recognizing, youth in terms of entrepreneurial work and so on. You would have had the opportunity, particularly serving as the Junior Secretary of Tourism, and only quite recently in this year, you would have handed over to Janae Brathwaite as the successful winner of the competition. I want you to tell us a little bit about that experience as the Junior Secretary of Tourism. And I know it was intended to be 1 year, but the pandemic allowed you to serve for what was considered an extended period. Tell us about that experience.
Okay, so that experience was definitely life-changing, and I would encourage anybody to take part in the competition. Try out and see what will happen, because before I became the Junior Secretary of Tourism, I knew tourism existed. I knew we had tourism in Tobago. I knew about the tourism products and all like that, but it was never really something that was important. But being able to immerse yourself in the entire experience, as a Junior Secretary, you have to go to most of the things that they have in. So, heritage, blue food, all those types of events, you have to go. And, it wasn't really forceful, but you enjoyed the experience overall. So I would definitely encourage anybody to do it, because it was really life-changing. It's a very enjoyable experience. You have the opportunity for travel. I was able to do that in 2019, obviously not 2020 because of the pandemic, but there's always an upside. So I would definitely encourage anybody to take part in the competition and become the Junior Secretary
Excellent.
of Tourism.
Alex, as a young person yourself, you would have had the opportunity being at the University of the West Indies and also involved as a past president of the Tourism Society. Tell us a little bit about that, adding to your overall contribution to even continue to make that valuable contribution here in the Tobago space.
So firstly, I must start off by, I know the UWI Tourism Society in the St. Augustine campus started in about 2017, and never before they had a Tobagonian president. So I must say that when I came on board, I certainly advocated for Tobago because I have a passion, and I made it known, even if I made enemies about it, I made it known that Tobago is important and we should focus on Tobago. Because when I came on board, a lot of things got showcased about Tobago, and then when I became president, I partnered with the division for international tourism. We had International Tourism Week, right? And one of our activities was actually partnering with the division with Miss Sandra Ortoni, an amazing individual, and we made the event happen, and we had a whole panel with a whole set of young people. Where we had Chef Arthur Patrick, we had myself, we had my colleague in the K-Ville Tourism Society. She was also on the panel. We had a number of young persons. There's one of the members from the US, and we discussed the main topic at the time was actually youth tourism and youth in tourism, which was a very key thing. And this discussion is ongoing, and we intend to carry it on.
Excellent. Again, for today's activity, what's the time frame that it will be taking place within for those persons interested in coming out and support and getting involved?
So we're going to start from this morning, around 9, and going into the evening.
Right up until 4 p.m.
Right up until 4 p.m. Because, well, we're going to have entertainment, so but you could duck in and duck out. I know some people have work, like myself, have some stuff to do today, but you could actually pass through whenever you get a free time, and that's important because you're going to have entertainment, we're going to have positive, we're going to have a lot of entertainment, we're going to have spoken word. So go back to the edutainment, it's education through entertainment.
Yeah, so it's basically just an entire day of activities, so you're able to come at any time and take in some information. When we were brainstorming, we didn't want to do like a seminar sit down thing and persons come and get the information. So you could come in at any time and the information will always be there, accessible. We just want to showcase opportunities for young persons in tourism.
All right. So this is the kind of day, folks. It's International Youth Day 2022. Tell your employer, I need a little half an hour to go and, all those young persons out there. Come on, we're going to ask those employers, get them a little blind, get them a little blind. This is International Youth Day 2022, and we want to see the full support coming out. Tell us about the young person's involvement in terms of the planning of this initiative that's happening today. Because very often in the past, we saw things happen for young persons that were not planned by and involved young persons in an integral and meaningful way. But the combination of those of you involved in the tourism club and organizations here in the Tobago space would have played a critical role. Tell us about that part of the process.
So I must start off by actually thanking the older generations first, right? And I love the theme, because we must start with the Secretary of Tourism.
Well, very young generation.
But I must thank her still because it's important that because she have a mantra to ensure that young persons get a chance. Even myself, even my current job, you could say, at the TTL board, which is one of the youngest persons to even serve in that capacity. So I must thank the Secretary of Tourism, Councillor Tashia Burris, the administrator who signs off on all these stuff, because if she don't, well,
no program.
No program. Yes. And Miss Sandra Ortoni, who always advocates for us, because if she doesn't, I think she's a champion, right? And she insists that young persons must get a chance, and she try to make all the effort to give us the opportunities. So Ms. Ortoni ensured that we came together, because the Tobago Tourism Council is in its initial stages. Mm-hmm. So we are still working on that as well, and the group that came together, she ensured that we met, we discussed different aspects of the program today, even games that the young persons was actually involved in the new Junior Secretary of Tourism, Miss Jenny Brathwaite, also involved. Even last night, we were up to meeting last night, even late, they were discussing games and activities for today's session.
So Kaylee's now going to give us a sneak peek. What can we expect today as we look to wrap this morning's interview?
Okay, so we have a lot of fun activities planned for today. As Alex would have said, the Tobago Tourism Youth Council is in its initial stages. Look out for us. Look out for our launch. We have it coming very, very soon. During the program today, pay attention. Anytime you drop in and you hear somebody talking any little thing, pay attention to anything that they're saying. If you want to write it down, put it on your phone, because we're going to have some questions. We're going to have questions coming up. We have games where you could win prizes. We have a lot of attractive prizes as well. So make sure you just, pay attention, listen to stuff. You go to a booth, they tell you something, write it down, just keep making all your notes, because we're going to have some questions and some very, very attractive prizes to be won.
All right, excellent. So folks, it's happening today, Friday, August 12th, International Youth Day 2022, and it runs from this morning until 4 p.m. Remember to pass through. It's at the main building in the car park at Sangsters Hill for the Division of Tourism as we celebrate International Youth Day 2022. And let me take this opportunity as well to really highlight and to recognize, and I see joining us on the live, good morning, Kaylee, with all the H's coming in, and that's coming from Reynolds Stewart, and I see also in the mix, look, my brother Alex, next Minister of Tourism. And yes, folks, they're doing exceptional work as young persons, really making a difference. Alex Job, yes, that's the name. Make sure you take note of it. Alex also functions as secretary on the board. It's the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, the TTAL board, representing us out there, continuing to do exceptional work. He'd have been an outstanding young person as a part of the Youth Assembly program, also taking that took place within the very first cycle, and Alex has been a part of study tours, representing us even outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and doing exceptional work. And we've got Kaylee Lewis, again another one with many titles in the mix. Kaylee functions as past president, immediate past president of the Interact Club of Southwest Tobago. Kaylee would have also been one of the youth assemblymen involved in the Tobago Youth Assembly program, and Kaylee continues to do her bit in a number of areas, really making us proud indeed this morning. And so we want to say congratulations to the both of you as we continue to encourage and celebrate its International Youth Day. And you will forgive me this morning if at every point I seek to get in and highlight my young persons, because those of you are joining us on the live, and therefore we also want to highlight in the mix. I'm seeing coming in here Cindy Andrews, highlighting Cindy Andrews, Jaquan Fraser, 17-year-old recent graduate of Harmon School of SDA, outstanding in the field of track and field. So congratulations indeed to Jaquan Fraser. I'm also seeing Cindy Andrews here connected with her foundation and youth advocacy work. Congratulations indeed as we highlight. And as I mentioned before, Alex, the next Minister of Tourism, all right, in the mix with us this morning. So yes, folks, keep it coming on the live. Let's get the name and at least a one-liner, something about an outstanding young person connected to you in some way, form, or fashion. I'm also seeing here reference to Adriel Wheeler, a founder of the Youth Transcending Boundaries, doing exceptional work there in the East and representing another outstanding young person here in the Tobago space. Yes, viewers, it's International Youth Day, and this is the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In our next segment, we prepare to connect with Dr. Faith B. Israel, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and we'll also be connecting with Dr. Nathaniel Duke, Medical Chief of Staff of the TRHA, and we're speaking to the issue of the cataract backlog. But just before that, they will also be required to highlight an outstanding young person for us as we are here for International Youth Day 2022. All right, viewers, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Board of Directors of Nambu Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting guided for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
Excel Spa by Haley. where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. X-Sales Power Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, it's 7:34 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Yes, on the Tobago Updates Morning Show today, we are celebrating International Youth Day. And I'm going to highlight another one here in studio with us. Yes, at times, the very bossy and very forceful to ensure he gets his work done. Judan Jofield, our youth producer of the Tobago Updates Youth Wednesday show. Trust me, folks, you should know him in the field of media. He's usually that one that might be hiding behind the technical area in terms of the camera and doing a number of things out there in the field of media and videography and so on. And we also want to highlight Judan Jofield this morning as well, our youth producer, as we recognize International Youth Day 2022. And I must certainly remember those of you continuing to join us on the live. Keep the names coming, folks. We are highlighting as well in the mix Kai Lewis, 13-year-old entrepreneur out of Kendall, Tobago, and she's the owner of Kai Essentials Cosmetics. All right, so remember to check her out. We're also highlighting inspirational young persons, Bethany Skypes, Jolie St. John, former host of the Tobago Writers Guild First Mike series. And we have Happy International Youth Day greetings coming out. So remember, continue to drop in the live for us. An outstanding young person in Tobago as we celebrate International Youth Day. And give us a little one-liner. What have they been up to and why do you consider them to be outstanding? As we head on into our interview segment this morning, we are in conversation in this segment with Dr. Faith B. Israel, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and Dr. Nathaniel Duke, Medical Chief of Staff of the TRHA. And we have them in studio with us this morning. We're going to be speaking to the cataract backlog. And what are the efforts that will be made in terms of moving us in a direction where we can overcome those challenges? Morning to you and welcome.
Hi, morning, Julian. It's wonderful being here.
Excellent. So you'd forgive me if I started the interview by asking, starting with you, Dr. Duke, tell us about one outstanding young person that you continue to be impressed with in terms of within the Tobago space here.
Well, I'm particularly impressed with all of the young physicians in Tobago who are the engines of the healthcare system. All right, so I would like to send out my kudos to them, and I would like when the public actually sees them, they acknowledge them for all of their hard work. When we are all asleep, they are up, getting the system moving as it should.
Excellent. All right, and on to you, Dr. Faith. Tell us about, well, I don't know how the area rep going to tell us about one outstanding young person, but an outstanding young person.
So that I do not get in trouble. I will tell about two outstanding young people from Bell Garden. So I go in not just area, but my village. Lazon Paul, who is the president or the chairperson of the Zion Youth Foundation. That is actually the organization that told me a couple months ago that we are having a breadfruit festival, and we had a breadfruit festival come hell or high water. So I want to congratulate Lazon Paul and the entire Zion Youth Foundation. But I cannot be here and not talk about Cindy Andrews, who is of course, president of the Bell Garden Police Youth Club. So those two young people from Bell Garden, I mean, Glamorgan, Bell Garden, I know we have other villages, but to big up my Bell Garden young people, it is what it is.
Thank you so much indeed. Now, this morning we're chatting about what is the existing issue in terms of the cataract backlog here in the Tobago space. And we're going to get right on into it. What's the situation currently that we are treating with Dr. Faith?
Certainly. So since I've been in this position, I've had calls. It felt like people were actually just giving people my telephone number and telling them to call Faith and tell them you want to do your cataract surgery. You've been waiting to do this cataract surgery for 4, 5, 6, how many years, sitting, waiting now? Of course, COVID happened, which means all elective surgeries were stopped. So even if you were lined up to do it in maybe 2019, 2020, COVID happened and then that halted it. So what we decided to do is instead of waiting for the system to catch back up, and because we know that cataract surgery is a relatively simple surgery that we can do, but the effects are astonishing. To have cataracts means that you really can't see properly out of your eye with one eye or both eyes. And we could do something that is relatively cheap, that's relatively simple, that can alleviate this concern that so many Tobagonians have. We decided let's just do a special project to deal with the backlog. So what we've decided is that we've highlighted a group from, well, it's based in Trinidad, but we actually have physicians coming from like Canada and so forth to come in to help. We are starting next week, Monday, to start the registration. So if you know, for example, that you have been lined up, you are part of the eye clinic at the Scarborough General Hospital, you have been lined up waiting to do this surgery for umpteen years, it's been more than several months you've been waiting, we are asking you to call so that we can do the registration of you, so that we can do some of the pre-work that Dr. Duke would speak about. And then from September 1 or so is when we would actually jump into starting the actual surgeries. So for now, we are just saying, for those of you, listen, all of you who've been calling my number, all of you, 6 o'clock calls, I've been answering them. This is an opportunity for you to now get yourself registered so that you can be on that list to get your cataract surgery done.
All right, just tell us, how do persons get registered? Would there be a hotline contact? Can they contact via the social media pages? Tell us, how do persons get registered?
So we have the numbers here. I just want to make sure I don't give the incorrect information. You could call 660-4392 extension 2239 or extension 2240. So let me say that again. 660-4392 extension 2239 and 2240, and you'll have someone there just collect basic information from you. What we will then do is look at that information to line it up with the list that we know we are producing from the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Make sure everybody's on the list, and then we go from there, because we know that there may be people who've been on the list for so long, their numbers may have changed, their address may have changed, so when we are trying to contact them, we may not be able to if we use the information we had from way back when. So we're allowing them now to come in, to call that number, or to go to the portal, the TRHA portal. There'll be a link that says cataract backlog, and from there they can register. We'll go through the process, go through the background information with them, and then start the surgeries in about a month from now.
Excellent. Dr. Nathaniel Duke, as Medical Chief of Staff, I know you will take a critical role in leading this initiative. Tell us about the process by the time they've passed pre-screening, what is expected to be engaged, and some of the medical professionals that will certainly be a part of this initiative.
Okay, so the medical professionals are coming from various parts of the world, and these are highly trained ophthalmologists and vitreoretinal surgeons. So they are a highly skilled group of people, and you also having specific cataract operating theater nurses that are coming. They will be bringing all of the equipments necessary. So these equipments are going to touch down in Tobago, head to Roxborough, and be set up for everyone. The team will also interface with the team in Tobago, so there will be an exchange of that knowledge, especially at the level of the nursing. Because we do have a relatively young nursing staff at Roxborough. We would like them to get that level of experience, so that's part of the initiative. Because of the complexity of what we expect with the cataracts, a lot of these patients will have a lot of underlying comorbidities, diabetes, hypertension, etc. We intend to be able to streamline that out. And what I say by that, after you have been registered and you will be given a date to come in where you will have your screening, where the team will actually check your eyes, they will look at your vitals, they will look at your underlying medical issues. And from that point, they will determine your suitability for cataract surgery or not. Some individuals will have a combination of cataract and glaucoma. So we have to look at those individuals separately, because you cannot do cataract surgery in someone who has glaucoma and do not do glaucoma surgery at the same time. It has to be done together. So when we classify the patients, we will then plan for their surgery. Those who have uncontrolled underlying chronic diseases, they will be seen by the medicine specialist immediately to start the controlling process. Now, on the day of surgery, after you have been verified that you are appropriate for surgery, you will be given specific instructions on what to do and when to return. On the day of surgery, so 24 hours before surgery, you will need to have your COVID test done. You must be COVID negative before you proceed to the surgical phase. On the day of surgery, when you come to Roxborough, you will be escorted up by our CSR, our customer service personnel, and then you will be brought to the first floor. We will have you lie down a little bit, relax yourself, your vitals will be taken, any form of anxiety, hopefully we can allay those anxiety, and then you will be taken to the operating room. It's a very simple process. It lasts about 25 minutes. Then you will go into recovery. The recovery is normally about 1 to 2 hours. Once everything goes well, and then you are subsequently discharged with instructions, medications given to you, your eye drops, etc. And your follow-up will be within 2 weeks. That's the process flow. Now, obviously, we are going to have a little bit of challenges with some individuals because of anxiety, etc. The last time we ran this, individuals were coming on the day for surgery with blood pressures 250, etc. So we had to cancel or treat at that point in time. But what we are going to do at Roxborough, since Roxborough is a new facility and we do have the bed space, we can have individuals actually lie on a bed and we can administer medical intervention in order not to fully cancel the list for that day. All right? So we are going to do everything we can medically not to cancel individual surgery. But this will depend on how the patients respond. Post-surgery and post-recovery, we will then subsequently call the family members to come and pick up their respective family, because you cannot drive yourself post-cataract surgery.
So I want you to tell us a little bit, Dr. G, because you mentioned a point in relation to persons will be able to come and then they will be screened to determine whether or not they are in need of cataract surgery. Does this therefore mean that this initiative is not only limited to those who have been on the list or in the backlog for a number of years, or other persons having, feeling that the challenge is existing and I want to utilize this opportunity? Can they also, register themselves to be considered in this process?
Yes, the answer is yes. Once you have a vision problem and you have been told or you think you have cataract, come, we will screen you, we will assess what is the visionary problem. If you do have cataract, you will be part of this.
All right, excellent. Dr. Faith, an initiative like this, give us an idea. It starts on September 1st. What kind of time period is it expected to run for? And most certainly, I don't think something like this comes free to the Tobago House of Assembly. What kind of investment and cost would this be, and would we be required to make for this kind of initiative to assist persons in need?
Certainly. So you're right. I wish it were free, but it is not. So let me talk about the timeline a little bit. So we're starting the project itself from Monday, where people can call in. We anticipate that the surgeries will take us close to the end of the year, so about 3 months or so. We will be using that time to do the surgeries. We anticipate that we will start with a list that has probably about 300 people or so on that list, and then roll on from there. The initial investment for this is a little over $2 million. That's the initial investment. But again, it goes back to the number of people that come into the process. Again, we really, even though there may be individuals who are who may not be a part of a clinic, or who may just think that they have cataracts, we really want to focus on those who've been in the system for some time and who have been waiting for some time. We really want to deal with those individuals, you know, first and foremost, and the others we can fill in as we have the time, and we have the space, and we have the resources as we go along. The other thing that is important to note that I don't think we've mentioned before is the fact that the equipment that is coming in with these professionals, that equipment stays with us. That equipment stays with us at the end of this project. So that was another part of the contractual arrangement that we have with them, that whatever you bring in, as long as it's not a consumable that you've already used up, it will stay with us, so that we will be able to continue using the equipment to do this kind of surgery as we go forward. So I think it is really one of those things where it is worth the investment. I mean, we are spending money on so many other things. Let's not go down in the political line about all of the other things we're spending money on, or we've spent money on. But I think that something like this, particularly since it has been breaking my heart when people call and they complain about how long they've had to wait for these surgeries. So this is an opportunity to get it done now, to get it done before the end of the year. If you're a new person who need it and we could fit you in, sure, that's great. But particularly for those who've been waiting for all of these years, please call the numbers, please go on the portal and ensure that you are a part of this project.
Excellent. Dr. Duke, just tell us very quickly in terms of you know, the medical definition, or I should say rather simply as you can, in terms of defining a cataract for the benefit of our viewers out there.
Right. So basically, a cataract is an opacification on the lens of the eye.
He said simple.
He missed the simple part.
Right.
So is that like a blurred?
So it's actually a layer, a deposit of a material that actually blunts the lens. So vision is severely affected.
And why is it important to ensure that it is dealt with? Because I note again, my information tells me it's common as you get older. And you know, in terms of persons going up in that higher age bracket, why is it so important to deal with early? And if not dealt with, what are the implications?
Well, loss of vision and increase in falls. Right. So with the loss of vision, you actually lose your independence. And with the increase in falls, you can actually have multiple broken bones, especially hips. So we see this all the time with in the elderly. The one thing I want to say is that this is a huge project. Yes. And the logistics behind this project, very complicated. There are lots of moving parts. So the team, I must give thumbs up to them, and I must thank the Division of Health, because you're talking about moving equipments across the world, moving technical people across the world, as well as the logistics with getting all of these pharmaceuticals to Tobago in a timely manner and coordinating everything on the ground. It's a massive logistical project that is taking place in Roxborough.
Excellent. As we wrap this morning's interview, just remind our viewers again the hotline, contact information, who is eligible, and the time frame within which to ensure that persons are registered to participate.
So certainly, starting from Monday morning, you can call the number 660-4392, extension 2239, or 2240. Again, 660-4392, extension 2239 or 2240, or you can go to the TRHA website, which is trha.co.tt, and you'll see a link there that says cataract backlog or something to that effect, and you can click on that to get the information. And hopefully, again, if everything works as planned, we would be able to start those surgeries on the 1st of September. So when you're calling on Monday, or when you're calling starting on Monday, that is just to get your information so that we can start going through the list, cross-referencing it to make sure it's, you're on the list from hospital, or if not, to see if we could fit you in and so forth, to make sure that you go through the initial screenings that Dr. Duke spoke about, because we need to make sure that everyone is okay to go into surgery before they get to the surgery point, and then and then we'll be doing the surgeries for the next 3 or so months to ensure that we get that backlog out of the way.
Excellent. Thank you very much there again, viewers. On set with us this morning, Dr. Faith B. Israel, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and Dr. Nathaniel Duke, Medical Chief of Staff of the TRHA, speaking to us here on this initiative. This is your opportunity. Make sure and connect with the hotline. For those of you particularly who have been in the system for an extended period, this is your opportunity by way of this initiative and a project to ensure that you're able to treat with the issue and the challenge in relation to cataract right here in Tobago. All right, viewers, as we prepare to head on out to our break this morning, I can't miss the opportunity. Every segment, every chance I get. It's International Youth Day 2022, and I want to highlight as well, those of you viewing, remember to continue to join us in the comments to ensure that you highlight a young person today. We are highlighting throughout this program this morning, and I'm seeing information coming in. Kiva Scott and Janae DeGans in sports, and my entire staff of young ladies, and that's Charles Scott there, Scott Photography, Donisha, Maya, Karel, Rinel. Happy International Youth Day. So I'm going to challenge him one time. Ensure that you provide lunch for them today. It's Happy International Youth Day. All right, but we want to highlight those young persons as we continue to recognize your valuable contribution here in the Tobago space. Viewers, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it, anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago, relax, we will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The Board of Directors of Lambo Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting guided for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Cayman, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning. morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Yes, it's Friday, the 12th of August, 2022, and it's International Youth Day. And we continue to encourage those of you viewing and connecting with us on the live. Send us the name, drop it in the comments, the name of an outstanding young person here in Tobago, and at least a one-liner. Why are they outstanding to you? Whether you know them through your community, your church, you interact with them at work, you always observe them on social media, feel free, drop a name there for us. And I want to continue with my recognition to also recognize Dwayne Nurse, our youth host here on the Tobago Updates morning show, continuing to make his contribution within his space in the context of church as an upstanding young person making a difference and within his community. So we recognize as well one of our youth hosts, Dwayne Nurse, here at Tobago Updates. All right, and now we head on into the final segment here this morning, viewers, and we are chatting with Yarel Phillips, and he will be speaking to us about his weight loss journey this morning. But just before we head on in there, morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, and good morning to Tobago and everyone that's listening out there. Thanks for having me this morning.
Excellent. And in keeping with International Youth Day, you got to tell me about at least one young person. Pull out of that hat, one young person that you want to highlight this morning.
From the top of my head, there's a lady, a co-worker of mine. She have a drive for business. Right? She always out there trying to conquer the world. Her name is Abigail Carrington. Right? Anything that comes her way, she always try to conquer it.
Excellent.
In terms of business.
So we
highlight small business in terms of food.
Nice.
Anything she tries anything.
Excellent. Abigail Carrington, this morning shout outs to you on International Youth Day. So this morning, Yarel Phillips, we are speaking about, you're a member of the Tobago Walkers.
I love Tobago Walkers.
I love Tobago Walkers. Tell us a little bit about that organization.
It's a group of firefighters who started just walking for fun. Right, and then, well, before I joined the group, right, I used to do my own thing now and again, and I came on board with them, and we started like small walks, and then some people call us crazy because we practically walk the whole of Tobago already, and we try to do walks, we try to encourage people to walk for health. Because walking is a very healthy thing. Some might say it's low impact, but it's very good for your health, especially your heart. Right? So we try to walk every weekend, holidays. Some people in the group, we do it every day personally. Like yesterday, we walked yesterday. I try to walk at least a minimum of 5 kilometers every day. Right?
So how do persons become a part of this? And I suspect the group motivates and encourages. I'm already seeing so much energy on the live. Tell us, how do persons get involved in this?
We have a Facebook page, and you could also join via WhatsApp. Once you come out and you walk, we'll add people. You could reach out to any one of us. You have Colonel Joseph, Dion Briggs. These are the people who started the group, actually.
Excellent. What's your membership like now, and what would you say is probably one of the more challenging walks that you have been on thus far as members of the organization?
Well,
in terms of distance.
For me, I have walked from Charleville to Scarborough to Charleville, Lansing to Stony. I walked last time we walked. Last time we walked was from Lansing to Stony, actually.
All right. So again, we're going to be heading into some photos there on set because we want to chat about this journey in particular that Yarel Phillips would have gone through in terms of that weight loss journey and making that connection. And I see a face there on set. Who is that gentleman on the right there? Is that the same gentleman that we have on set this morning?
That is the same, that person that people know. right? Because I realize nowadays people passing me straight. I might be saying hi, and people like, who is this person calling me, right? And so they are accustomed to this version of myself, right?
So where did you start there in terms of what was your journey from where you started? What was the size then compared to where you have been able to move to, and over what time period?
Well, when I started my journey, when there's a specific photo of myself in my uniform because I'm a firefighter, right?
Right.
We had a health fair in work. That would have been about a year, and so yeah, this one.
Right.
I wasn't really seeing it. I wasn't seeing it. So when I saw this photo, I was like, nah, boy, I'll do something about this. So my eating style was very bad. In the morning time, I give you a breakdown. In the morning time, I wake up, eat breakfast, the conventional breakfast, fried bake, things that normal Tobago, saltfish, sausage, full works. Alright, I might leave home, come in town, and see doubles man looking at a certain kind of way. Hey, boy. Pass and eat about 3 doubles. When I reach to work, biscuits, juice, like all before lunch, heavy lunch, pie, roti. You know, after that, you coming back, you pass and eat the doubles man again. You come home, you eat some fried chicken, and that was me until this, right? And I changed all of that.
What was the turning point for you? Was it at this time, around this time, the picture we're seeing on set in your uniform?
Yeah, was it that? It was that. Yeah, that was this photo made me change my whole my lifestyle, right? So yes, I tried everything, shakes, tea, pills, everything I tried, but the main thing that I want to get out there, people. You see, eating a healthy diet and exercise, that's what's driving me right now. Because I changed my diet completely. No sugar. I cut out flour, sugar, meat, all refined foods, no snacks. I was actually literally starving. Well, I wouldn't say starving myself, but the discipline, which was hard. Because some people saying, nah, I can't meat, chicken, no, I can't cut that out. Roti, no, I love my roti. Nah, but sometimes it's a sacrifice. You have to make a sacrifice, right? To start there, and then you could start the exercise, walk at least, as I said, at least 5 kilometers every day. Get yourself body moving, burn off the calories. I'm not a fitness person. I just did it for me.
Yes.
Right? And some people saw the results and they say, well, yeah, I wanna come on board. So anybody have any questions concerning this? I have nothing to hide. But it's discipline and dedication. Because you can't see somebody's results and want it without working hard for it. Because I worked really hard for this. And I'm still working on it because next time you see me, I might see a different transformation. I'm not sure is it.
And I just want you to remind us again, what helped you along the way in terms of maintaining this level of focus? Because we know naturally when you're going along a pathway where you're trying to do weight loss, it's always so easy to fall back into what you're accustomed to from time to time and just say, I don't want the stress, you're not cutting the stress anymore.
When I look at these photos of myself, I don't want to ever return to that. That is something, if I go and eat, yes, I will have cheat days. I love food.
Yes.
Right? I love food, but food doesn't love me. Right? So I will eat. I will have a cheat day. I love roti. So I'll eat a roti. But when after I eat the roti, I was like, wait, boy, what I just did, boy. In my mind, like I undid everything I did with that one meal. So I go and work harder now to burn it off. So that drive, I just look at myself from the past and know to myself I have to work hard to keep the size that I have now, the way that I am now. Because some people could eat anything. You see some people eating a whole big plate of food and And they're just slim and
like Candice.
Like Candice. Yeah, like Candice, yeah. But others, we had to work hard for it. And I mean, it's all about health. Because, you know, people dying from lifestyle diseases and stuff, right? I've seen great improvements in terms of stamina. Because I couldn't do this when I started to walk. The same person I mentioned before, Abigail, she was one of the first persons encouraged me to walk, and I thought I was literally going to die when I started back pains. Right, it was terrible at first, and people like Kerry Porter, some other co-workers, Colonel Charles, Cleon Ramsey, all these people, Ainsworth Williams, all these people encouraged me and pushed me to where I am now, even the walking group. Right? Because when I started, I was just a normal walker. And you're trying every day. I think this is the from Lansamy. This one was very painful for me, coming along to the end. Because, I mean, it's 9 hours we walk whole night. From Lansamy to Sorby. And it's just, I don't want to use the word bad mind, but it's just persistence. You know, you set your mind out. When I reach like me snow coming along and I say, yeah, but you had to stop, but my body saying stop, but my mind saying no, I'm not stopping. I'm going until I reach. When I reach, yeah. So basically, we walk out the whole of Tobago. We're looking for other places now. Probably we venture to Trinidad or some other Caribbean island. And then, as I said, people come out and walk. Some like to run, we walk. Right?
Right.
I try running sometimes, yes, but I'm not a runner. I haven't reached up there yet.
But at least you keep walking.
I guess keep walking, yeah.
Tell us, Yarel, how important is a support system in terms of, being able to go along a journey like this, so that, you don't have those friends or those family members around you that make it even more challenging for you to keep focused.
Yeah,
how important is that support system?
Support is good because, I mean, it's very easy to fall off and to go back to where you were. Right? Support is very good. Minus the support, you have to have self-discipline. Because people could be supporting you and encouraging you, but behind the scenes, you're teething a piece of pie. And you say, yes, I'm not eating it. You're eating the lettuce in front of the people. But when they turn it back, you're going back and you're chucking in something on your side. But support is good. Because my mom, Wilma Phillips, she used to always tell me, Yarel, your jersey sticking in on the side. I ain't like how you look. And so, what are you talking about? Because I wasn't seeing it, eh?
Yes.
Right, I might try to put on a jersey today. It fit. Next week, I say, but like this clothes washing too much, it's shrinking. Right? Yeah. And as I said, you just had to start somewhere. Don't say next week I'll do something. Right? Start today. Get up today and walk. Do something. Even though you're not walking, change your diet. Diet is very important. And any fitness person could tell you that. What you eat is you as a person. Right? I know there are a lot of fitness groups out there. As I said, I'm not a trainer. I'm just doing it for me personally.
Yes.
Right? I will tell anybody what worked for me. So yeah, this for me was a low calorie, high cardio training for me. Some people say I need to start weight training. I'm in the process of doing that. Right. So as I said, next time you see me, you might see a different transformation. But it's all about fitness and health, because I mean, sleeping in the night, you're waking up yourself, you're snoring, everybody complains, you're snoring. And that's a big thing with people. We doesn't really realize how dangerous that is. Right? Sleep apnea is a very dangerous thing. Some people die from that and all kind of thing. So just try, just keep trying.
All right, and we want to say
there are a lot of shortcuts out there. There are a lot of shortcuts, yes, but the drive, you have to have that drive.
And what we want to say, definitely commendations to you, and it's important to keep going. And one of the reasons why this segment means so much to us is because you're touching home for so many persons that don't just go that formal route for weight loss. When I see that we are having this segment and we have some of our cameramen standing here for the entire thing focused on the discussion, you know that you are getting and connecting with persons. And then I see the viewers joining us online indicating, big up you, Yarel, the weight loss story is very inspiring. And you give that sense of hope to persons, you know, that once you have that dedication and commitment, you can certainly make it. So just before we wrap this morning's interview, I wanted to remind persons, how can they even get in contact with you, get in contact with the Tobago Walkers I love Tobago Walkers Association. Just remind us of contact information.
Well, my page on Facebook, you can message me directly on Facebook. You can message Colonel Joseph. I think his name on Facebook is Kinkert Dion Briggs. We have another, I don't want to make it seem this bad, but people call us crazy because the works that we do, crazy. Right, I have Andrea Comina, Stacy Winchester, I can't remember Miss Schumer, last name, but Miss Schumer. Right, so if you reach out to some of these people, especially Andrea Comina, she walks probably like 20 kilometers every day, 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening. She's addicted to walking, right? But you can reach out to me, Yarel Phillips, on Facebook. I don't think I really want to give up my number because, I mean, there are lots of people who, because I wanted to clear up something. My photo has been circulating on social media with certain products, right?
Yes.
And people that I don't even know calling me on Messenger and asking me about it, and it's like, I'll be explaining over and over, right? Some of these things, I'm not in no way associated with them.
Yes.
Right? There were one in particular that I was using, right? And I think that's where it came from. Because I mean, I tried everything.
Yes.
I tried everything, like everybody else, I tried everything. And they see seeing results from my dedication and pushing forward. They try to make money off of my journey, right? And I think that is wrong. So anybody seeing anything circulating with me, I'm not associated with that. I mean, everybody is free to make a choice to do what they want concerning that, but I just wanted to clear that up. But they could message me on Facebook. The names that I mentioned,
yes.
King Kurt, Dion Briggs, because these are the ones who started it. I'm just coming in on board with them. I'm just a walker. Right?
In terms of getting that support network. So thank you so much, Yarel Phillips, for joining us on set here this
I just want to
morning.
say I want Nana to join me. Come on, Nana.
All right. And that's a call for William Nana to join in the journey this morning. All right. In terms of starting that journey, or should we say continuing, he'll be starting on continuing that journey. Viewers, we want to thank you so much, and we want to thank you as well, Yarel Phillips, for joining us here on set at the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, it's International Youth Day 2022. And in this final segment, just before we wrap and head on over to GMT, I see those of you who have joined us in the comments, as I've been asking all morning. This morning, we're saluting Miss Yolani Fletcher, USC class of 2022, Miss University NT candidate and budding entrepreneur, highlighting young persons here again. We have Visim Fred, recognizing her very own daughter, Venicia Frederick. Venicia out there, a talented musician who continues to make us very proud. Yes, Vivi, making us very proud out there. I see we have good morning and shout outs going out to two ladies, young ladies in the fabric industry, Miss Karina Andrews and Carla Hazel. And we also have persons joining in with the shout out for Abigail Carrington as well. Young persons doing it out there. Recognition to Kevin Ben, Youth Director of the Speyside Pentecostal Church, doing an excellent job with young persons out there. So therefore, we want to highlight each and every one of you. And I'm scanning through the live to make sure I haven't missed anyone. All right. Also saluting Mariska Thomas, USC class of 2022, another budding entrepreneur and enriching the lives of others at Enriched Life. we are highlighting this morning as well Thais Lord. All right, summa cum laude, a natural leader. Thais is also a past director of the Interact Club of Southwest Tobago, doing exceptional work out there. This morning we're recognizing youth and young person Thais Lord making her contribution. And certainly as we wrap this morning with the Tobago Updates morning show, and I'm scanning through very quickly to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Yarrell Phillips, I'm so proud of you, buddy, in terms of making that contribution. And folks, we've spent the entire morning here connecting with all those who have joined us, speaking to International Youth Day, chatting about our health system, and Cataract, connecting about the weight loss journey. And we want to thank you very much. And I want to send my very own International Youth Day greetings out there to each and every one of you young persons. And I want to remind you, and to remind our entire population, we believe in you, and you know that, young persons, you have my full support no matter what. And I want to remind those adults, just as I started on the vein, that it is either you help and prepare our young persons to take up responsibilities and to take over, or risk them taking over and having us taking over without the preparation. But either way, young persons will continue to be that charge and to lead the way, and we really want to continue to encourage them on this International Youth Day. Viewers, we head on over and we prepare to head on over to GMT with our very young and vibrant Candice Jackson. And how can I forget on International Youth Day the significant and outstanding combination here in the Tobago space presently? Young Minority Leader Kelvon Morris, Young Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, and Young Presiding Officer Abby Taylor. We are indeed celebrating youth and continue to recognize youth excellence here in our Tobago space and beyond. Viewers, have a great International Youth Day 2022, and we head on over to GMT with Candice Jackson. Bye-bye for now.
Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The court granted an injunction to halt the eviction of residents in Crumpton Trace One Accord. 7 families are yet to settle negotiations with NIDCO as the state moves in to acquire properties to make way for the construction of the new airport terminal. Yesterday, police acting on the instruction of the Commissioner of State Lands were ordered to evict the residents, causing an uproar. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine intervened and ordered the state's legal counsel to work with the residents' attorney for an emergency hearing in court. Additionally, the THA is working with affected families to find a solution to offer accommodation until the matter is settled in court. Meanwhile, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is confident in Tobago's carnival hosting abilities. He was speaking at yesterday's post-executive press briefing, where he responded to National Carnival Committee Chairman Vincent Gypsy Peters' comments involving the NCC in the hosting of Tobago Carnival. Augustine stated Tobago is accustomed to hosting many events annually and therefore does not need the assistance of a government entity to host a successful carnival. Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary announced that Trinidadian promoters and mass bands are involved with Tobago's carnival and all will be revealed at the launch next Wednesday. Additionally, he said a month-long calendar of events leading up to carnival is planned. And now nationally, several Trinidadians were detained by Grenadian authorities following a brawl on board the Harbour Master in Grenada on Wednesday night, where Grenada's javelin world champion Anderson Peters was beaten up and thrown overboard. He sustained no serious injuries. In a statement, the Royal Grenada Police Force stated investigations are ongoing into the incident. The Harbour Master is owned by Adrian Schoon, son of Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Trade and Industry, Paula Gopi Schoon. The vessels in Grenada taking part in the Spice Mass activities. Meanwhile, the incident sparked an anti-Trinidadian uproar in Grenada. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And, you know, as was stated earlier up in our newscast, now we have this drama basically unfolding down at Bon Accord with the remaining residents who have not yet settled their negotiations. And joining me just to give us a little bit more perspective and a little bit of understanding, because there's a lot of confusion in this space, a lot of untruths and misinformation going about in this space about what's really going on with these residents. So we have on with us Miss Rhonda Hackett, and she is the chairman of the Peace Movement, who is an advocacy group who has been speaking on behalf of these residents over the past 3 or so years. So good morning and welcome to you, Miss Hackett.
Good morning, Candice. Good morning to our listening audience, and thanks very much for the opportunity to be here to share with you and all of your viewers what the respective positions and perspectives are to bring greater clarity. Well, as you have rightly said, this has been an ongoing issue since around 2018, May of 2018.
All right.
So now I know that the general public may be wondering, they have not heard much about what has been going on for quite a while, and then suddenly this major uproar where residents are being thrown out of their homes with no place to go. We have been quietly behind the scene seeking to work along with the government, with the respective persons who remain, to seek to have, a just due. Our mantra has always been no movement before resettlement, and the hope is that persons will be able to go through a smooth and reasonable transition from the government acquiring their properties to they in turn acquiring new properties of their own.
Ms. Hackett?
The unfortunate yes.
Okay, I would just like to pause you there, and because I just want, because you're talking about, ensuring that there is satisfactory negotiation for the residents so that they can move on with the rest of their lives while the state, goes on with their job. Now, one of the statements that I really would like you to address this morning is from the minister, from the MP for Tobago West, Ms. Shampa Kajo, and she basically stated that, there are 11 occupants that refuse to negotiate with the state. Now, I want you to bring clarity to that statement, because there is that information that's out there in the public space, and there are people thinking that, these people don't want the development or they don't want to negotiate with the state. But that is not necessarily the case. So can you just give us some clarity on what's really going on with these residents?
Sure, most definitely. I'm not certain where our parliamentary representative would have acquired her information, her detail. What I am aware of is that several of these individuals have been in communication, and they have made offers to residents for their property. most, if not all of these offers have been less than half of person's valuation. And I know that several residents have done some homework of their own in seeking to find out the cost to rebuild, to reconstruct their homes, and the amount of monies that are being offered by NITCO and the government is grossly inadequate for them to truly be able to reconstruct their homes. And so the transition between having your properties acquired to reconstruction, there's a gross inequity. The current reality is this: the monies that are being offered, you would have heard the chief secretary quote one of the offers that was on the document that was served, $400,000. And one of the dwelling places that was constructed is valued for persons to purchase at 1.2 million. Listeners, let us do the calculation. The government is offering the residents $400,000, and then for them to relocate, they are being told that they must purchase a property, or what is being offered is at 1.2 million. This is only one example of the many different cases and instances in which there is a gross inequity in what is being offered and what persons are expected to put out. In addition to that, there were promises made on both sides. NITCO and the central government had indicated that persons will be compensated adequately, fairly, justly, but the negotiation process, the compensation process is far from that reality. And then on the other side, the THA, those who were in power then, had indicated that they would provide suitable relocation conditions. To date, the needed infrastructure for persons to be able to move into Shervan or Cove to build their homes are not in place. The light, water, sewer system, etc., the state-of-the-art facility that the previous chief secretary spoke of is nowhere at any of these two locations. And so it is unfair to say that persons are unwilling to negotiate. The conditions that are needed to negotiate and settle have not been provided by the government. And so it makes it very difficult on both sides for residents, especially those who remain. If I am here and I have seen the plight of those who have left, would it be wise for me to see fire and jump into it?
And Ms.
That is
Hackett,
my question.
I also want to get into the fact that these residents that were served these eviction notices, even though it was served in July, on July 6th or thereabouts, these persons have launched a court matter, begun the court proceedings where the defendants were the THA, the central government, NITCO, and perhaps a few other bodies. So
Yes.
these persons being served, being forced to be evicted yesterday, or at the attempt for their eviction yesterday was in sort of violation of a court matter that was ongoing. So I just also wanted to bring clarity to that fact, because I think that fact is kind of being lost in the melee and all the public discussions.
Sure, most definitely. So what you have related is quite accurate. Notice of eviction was served on July 6th to several persons who remain in the area. And subsequent to that, we would have sought legal advice and would have taken legal action. And so the matter has been and still is before the court. And so it would have been surprising to see, although this process was in trail, the action was taken on the part of the central government to go ahead and pursue the eviction of residents within the area. Now, the fact that the matter is before the court it shows that the residents would have taken action in regard to the eviction notice that was issued to them. However, based on the response of the central government, it shows that their haste is by far of greater interest to them, and there is less of a concern in terms of the interest and well-being of the residents within the area. And I would like to further expound on this statement. I would like to retract as far back as 2018 when this land acquisition process came, when residents were told that their properties were to be acquired. When the question was asked, how much funds have been allocated for compensation of these residents? The response was very disheartening. There was no conversation yet in place. We were able to be told how much money was allocated for the construction of the terminal. There was no clear indication of how much monies were allocated for the compensation of residents. And even to date, this same trend of approach and attitude towards the residents and their relocation remains. Even if we look at the sums of monies that has been allocated for compensation, that amount of money is grossly inadequate that was given by the central government, and it is what is responsible for a lot of the hurt and pain that residents continue to experience. Even those who have already left are undergoing serious distress with their relocation and the conditions under which they have been made to now live. Persons are not supposed to be devalued in their socio-economic status by a land acquisition. The land acquisition indicate that persons' socio-economic status should remain as opposed to be devalued, and persons are being made to be devalued in terms of their living condition, etc. At Shervan, there is no proper lighting, there is no water, there is no sewer system in place, and similarly is also the case at Cove. So if these are the conditions, when the government, the central government to be specific, would issue an eviction for persons to leave, one begs the question, where do they expect these individuals to go? And I guess we can see what the expectation was yesterday based on what they did. They expect that they would be out on the streets. Is this the way we treat with our citizens?
All right.
I think by far better needed to have been done on the part of our leaders and even those who have gone out indicating that persons refuse to. If you ask these individuals, individually will get a completely different response. Thank you.
All right, and then as we're getting ready to wrap up, now can you just give me an idea of, what's the feelings like, how has this whole situation been affecting these residents? Because, as you can see, the emotions went high yesterday.
Yes, there were more than adequate reasons for emotions to go extremely high off the roof. I would first like to say thanks be to Almighty God for how this eventually turned out. It could have been worse than what we experienced yesterday, and it would have been the intervention of God that would have prevented Tobago from experiencing a very shameful and disgraceful operation on the part of our central government. I would also like to highly commend our legal team who would have acted on our behalf to ensure that this type of inhumane operation was intercepted. I would like to greatly commend, applaud our Tobago House of Assembly or young leaders of today, or Chief Secretary, and also his team. There were several of the THA representatives, several of our assemblymen who were out there yesterday showing their solidarity and also standing in support of our plight. Our Assemblyman Joel Sampson, he was and has been there by our side. And so I would like to, first of all, in spite of the emotions, in spite of the pain, I can tell you of some testimonials where persons indicated that they truly felt an element of love and support, seeing our assemblymen such as Assemblyman Craig, Assemblyman Sampson, or Pastor, and for want of not leaving out anyone, I would like to thank all of the THA, because I know each and every one of them would have been there in support and in allegiance of our plight, and have also pledged their willingness to ensure that the smooth transition that is really needed for persons to move can really take place. We have said before, and I would like to reiterate it again, on the part of the residents who remain, we are willing to work with the government to ensure that the transition that is needed from them moving from their current place of abode that they have lived in for all their lives to a new location. However, this needs to be done in a humane way, with dignity. The necessary infrastructure need to be put in place. It is interesting that our parliamentary representative have made comment in terms of persons' unwillingness to move, but has she truly reached out? I have not heard or seen her presence. And so we are saying, as opposed to making remarks and comments, it is better to connect with the people to truly know and understand their pain. And I can say our assemblyman has been and continue to be in full support of his residents, of the community. There isn't a moment when he is called upon that he has never responded. And so, as opposed to saying one thing on a campaign trail and doing another, he has not done so. He has stood for everything he has proclaimed that he would represent on our part. And I would like to commend him highly, Mr. Joel Sampson, and by extension, the THA. They have done a lot thus far, and I would like to continue to ask those who are within listen, rather than listen to rumors, let us hear the facts ourselves. Let us pray on the behalf of our residents that this thing works out well, and know that what is done for one is done for all as citizens and residents of Tobago. And so we need to work together as a team to get this thing done. And I thank you greatly, Candice and team, for this opportunity to get the truth out there and to know that we are here seeking and hoping that the best shall and would take place. And I think with this current administration, it will in his name.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Hackett, for being on with us and for sharing that perspective. And this is an issue, like I said yesterday, it's an issue that we are going to continue following up with. There's a lot more information to unpack, and we will be doing that in the coming days and weeks ahead. All right, viewers, so we just have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be continuing our conversation, so don't go anywhere.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now, 333 888-883-4430. At Mamai Lakai Home Services, we take cleaning to another level.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago.
All right, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, viewers. Now we just completed our conversation with Miss Rhonda Hackett, who is the chairman of the Peace Movement, representative of the residents in Bonaccord who are affected by the construction of the airport terminal and the land acquisition process that's ongoing and the situation that unfolded yesterday. Now, speaking with us a little bit more is Secretary for Infrastructure, Utilities, Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development in the form of Mr. Trevor Craig. So a special good morning and welcome to you, sir.
Candice, my name is Trevor James, and I'm the Secretary for
I am mixing up everything this morning.
and Urban Development. It's a pleasure. It's a
My
pleasure
apologies.
to be here.
My apologies.
I understand how it is on live TV. It's a pleasure to be here to lend my voice to the conversation as to what is going on in Kong Point and the acquisition of lands for use by the state.
Right.
It has been a long and arduous journey for the state apparently to acquire these lands, and a very terrible. It's been very terrible for the people down there who continue to be offered values that are way below their properties, and you know, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm honored to be part of a THA that has stand in support of the people, because what we have, Candace, and what we have to Tobago is an acquisition process that seeks to disenfranchise our citizens. We've had the government and the past administration of the THA decide to acquire lands and to provide lands at Shervan and Cove. 3 years, could not finish the developments. We are still now saddled with trying to see how we could expedite the completion of those properties.
Mr. James, I just want to get into that a little bit, right? Because that now the administration has changed. So we know that what happened before or what didn't happen before under the previous administration in making sure that these lands, these property were ready for the residents. Now, when you came into the office and you looked into the matter, I just want you to give me an idea of what was the state of readiness for those lands that you found.
Both sites are incomplete. As far as I'm aware, the contractor submitted an invoice sometime late February. The consultant on the site has 3 months with which to respond, and they have responded. And we are trying to find the monies to pay them so that they can move forward with the project. But there are design issues, there are connection issues, there are approval issues. None of the sites have been approved by Town Country Planning. And so there are a whole lot of things that need to be completed, which we will try to expedite so that we can at least have persons who are there provide with a space that's usable.
Can you give me an idea or some more details on what exactly is not ready? Because you said that there were some design challenges and so on, and certain things were not, I get the approvals were not there. So give us some more details as to what's going on.
Well, the Water and Sewage Authority has not approved the projects. There is a sewer connection for the property at Sherburne that has not been approved. The design has not been completed. There's no T&Tech connection. I believe that while the T&Tech might be an easier issue, the sewage and water connections remain a challenge because we now have to go and complete the designs before we can submit for approval. So we have to find a way to negotiate with WASA to fast track that if we are to achieve what the Chief Secretary wants, which is to provide these lands in the shortest possible time.
And what has been done from the time that you got into office and this came to your desk, and now what has been done during that period of time, that 8 months, to progress the project?
Well, as you may know, the THA has been strapped for funds. We are still trying to find, I think the last invoice was $4.5 million to pay the contractor. This is for works done last year, by the way, so we could move forward with the project. I think we have identified the funds last week, and hopefully contractor would be paid this week, and we could move forward with the project. It has been a difficult time trying to find funds to meet some of these expenses that were left on the table for us.
And for those residents who have already gotten their plots and have begun construction, because some of them have already begun construction, quite advanced in their construction. Now, are you saying that these people are not in a place to occupy those homes as yet because electricity, water, and those necessary connections are not there?
Yeah, certainly at Sherburne, there is no electricity, no water. While at Cove, you may have an opportunity to build and connect. There's no approval. Without the approval, as a state agent, it becomes difficult for us to proceed. So we're gonna pursue that vigorously in an effort to bring relief to the persons who are transitioning from Crown Point to Sherburne. I know it's been a difficult time, and we sympathize with them, but some things are out of our hands, and we will pursue it as vigorously as we can.
I am aware that the residents who have already settled their negotiations would have been given perhaps approximately about 6 months of rent coverage, during which time it was hoped that they would have been able to construct their new homes and be able to move in. However, that time has a long passed. So we have a situation where people are continuing to pay rent, not being able to move into their new homes, and that being an extra financial burden on them. Now, what is the THA doing to help these residents who are stuck renting through no fault of theirs?
Candice, in the business of public procurement and construction, we manage risk, and those persons in Trinidad understand this clearly. Now, there was a risk that the projects could not be completed in the timeline, and no action was taken to ensure that that risk was mitigated and that the projects were in fact ready before they started moving people. They willfully started moving people off the site before the projects were completed, in a time when one party controlled both executives, and that to me could only be willful. What are we doing to mitigate that loss of earning and that hurt that people are facing now because they've expended all their monies? The Chief Secretary made a statement to the effect that we are considering at the executive level reducing the cost of the lands to persons with a pay over a longer period, and that we believe will alleviate some of the loss of earnings, and we will implement that shortly.
All right. And what is your view in this connection with central government? Now, what has been the conversations between NIDCO and the Ministry of Finance and your division in regards to the construction of the airport? Because I mean, there needs to be. I mean, there should be some collaboration going forward on this project. Has there been that discussion taking place?
Candice, when I got into office in January, we wrote to NEDCO twice through the administrator, requesting a meeting to discuss the project. And we have identified several issues with the design, several issues with how the project was being managed, and we requested a meeting. NEDCO has refused to meet with us. We still hope that we can sit down with the NEDCO, because the project rightfully belongs to the THA. If the project was being managed by the THA, all of these shenanigans will not take place. Remember that we have history. There was a former minister of government who owned lands at Crown Point that the state acquired in the late 80s, if I'm not mistaken. The state acquired lands for the police station and paid that gentleman for 2 lots of land, 10,000 square feet, upwards of $10 million. This is not a new thing in acquisition of land in Crown Point. And once you decided that you're going to move the terminal east, you must know that there are funds that has to be allocated for the purchase of these lands, for the acquisition of these lands. No funds was allocated for it. And we are in this position now where Tobagonians are fighting tooth and nail to hold on to the lands. We paid a fair value. Nobody wants to stay there. It's an inconvenience now the project has started. But oh gosh, pay the people a decent settlement and let them move. You know, there is no deadline for the airport to be completed. Wait, finish the projects at Sherburne and Cove, and let the people move. I saw a missive from Miss Kodjo stating that every month it costs the government $5 million. For every month of delay, it costs the government $5 million. That's simple mathematics. Pay the people that's even $5 million. If you've been losing right now, you're supposed to $50 million on delays. You could have paid the people a long time ago. It is a willful attempt to pauperize Tobagonians again. And Tobagonians must stand up and understand that our properties, our value has been eroded and taken away by those in Port of Spain, because they have this sad power. All of this speaks to a lack of autonomy, Candice. A gentleman keeps telling me over and over, Trevor, if you don't control the police, you don't control the army, then you're under occupation. What we saw yesterday is a public servant in Trinidad calling the police, headed by somebody in Trinidad, to evict people using Chinese labor. Think about that in Tobago. A public servant in Trinidad with no reference or deference to the government in Tobago is able to call the police to secure Chinese workers, to evict people in Tobago. We have Chinese workers removing property from houses in Tobago and putting them on the road with the protection of the police. That is what happens when we are under occupation. And this whole quest for self-determination, this is a clear example of why this autonomy thing has to be at the forefront.
All right, Mr. James. Well, we have to leave it there right now, but viewers, we'll be back right after this break.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolines, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The Board of Directors of Lambo Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting carried for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Everybody only worrying.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry, if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true.
Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Danasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and.
All right, viewers, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Now, today, as you would have known from the morning show, today is International Youth Day. And then who better to talk about youth and youth development than ACP Collis Hazel, who, of course, is the leader of the Roxborough Police Youth Club. Good morning and welcome to you, sir. How are you doing?
Morning, Candice. I'm doing fine.
Right. So today is International Youth Day. So just, I don't know if you want to take this opportunity to give a greeting to the young people, especially those in the Roxborough Police Youth Club and in Tobago.
Okay, so I want to take the opportunity, first of all, to say congratulations to all youth and youth-serving organizations within Trinidad and Tobago. The youth is really the greatest resources a country can ever have. And therefore, it is important that internationally we observe and recognize youth and the work that has been done by youth throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And in many organizations, youth work continue to strive, most of it done on a voluntary basis. And of course, it is always a resounding success in some cases, the work that are put out there by young people, and we need to encourage them along the way. I have seen a lot of development that has been taking place via youth organizations. We have the Tobago Youth Council up and running now. We have the National Youth Council. We have the police youth clubs, which I've had the privilege to lead throughout Trinidad and Tobago as the ACP responsible for specialized support, under which the community-oriented policing falls. So it's an opportunity where we can be able to share the work that is done by youth, with youth, and for youth, and by youth. And therefore, I want to take the opportunity to continue to congratulate all young people and young youth serving organizations that is working towards the progress and development of youth, not only in Tobago, but in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, Mr. Hazel, now the Roxborough Police Youth Club is perhaps one of the most vibrant youth organizations on the island and has certainly been doing remarkable work. Now, one of the things that you guys are going to be launching pretty soon is that of an after-school program. So I would just like you to give us some information about this and why it is so important for you guys to venture into.
Okay, so Candice, as you will be fully aware, the after-school program is a long-standing program at Roxborough Police Youth Club. It was funded by J.B. Fernandez Memorial Trust Fund out of the United States. And this program provides remedial learning for students at both the secondary level, and we started with primary and we moved on to the secondary level from forms 1 to 5. In this program, we've had after-school remedial classes taking places particularly in English language and maths, two prominent subject areas. And we have seen the success of this program even during the lockdown. We were not severely affected because we were accustomed to the online learning situation. And therefore, I am very happy to announce that the success of this program continues, and therefore we want to register persons very early to be able to participate in this initiative once again. The program is provided by secondary school teachers, and not teachers that are not attached to schools, but who would have had the academic acumen in order to deliver that curriculum. And we have been doing a successful program thus far, and we want to continue. So registration takes place at the Roxville Police Youth Club, and people are asked to register online as well. They can call the Police Youth Club and participate in this registration. But importantly, Candice, one of the things I want to acknowledge is the fact that coming out of this program, where we would have had this year at the Roxborough Police Youth Club, is one of the largest amount of students at any point in time. We have 5 students that last Sunday we offered blessings and awards of congratulation to, who will be moving off to the universities, both local and international. And they would have been participants in those classes and are now moving on to do tertiary level studies. So again, it shows the grit, the determination of the success of this program that has been taking place.
All right, and then another initiative or another activity, I guess, that is happening with you guys is that you are having elections within your organization coming soon, and there's a call to go to the polls. So tell me a little bit about that, and what's happening there.
Okay, Candice, like any other run properly organization that is an NGO, there must be transparency and accountability. And therefore, we'd have been stymied by the pandemic, where the executive of the Police Youth Club was running for quite a while without having its election based on the pandemic situation. We are now bringing that to a rest. And therefore, the executive will be going to the polls in September. And I can tell you, Roxborough Police Youth Club election takes on the following of the national elections of Trinidad and Tobago. It is not an easy, situation where you just come and get visit. You have to put out yourself. So nominations at this point in time are out, and the nomination closes in August. So people have to nominate themselves. They have to put up themselves before the membership and show their worthiness to the positions that are being offered, of that of president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, assistant secretary, public relations officers, 3 committee members, an internal auditor, and 2 trustees. So the full slate is before the membership for election. And the theme for the election is continuing our resilience while adapting to change in an era of exponential change. So the resilience of the people and members of the Roxborough Police Youth Club is continuing in an era of exponential change. And therefore, in that vein, we will be having elections and our annual general meeting taking place somewhere in September. And therefore, nominations are out there now. So I know it's online, so members have to be able to put themselves worthy for elections.
And it is certainly a coveted position, being able to lead one of the best youth clubs, I would say, or youth organizations here in Tobago.
Certainly, it is something that one look forward to. I know that the gender issue takes a lot in it, because for quite a while we have been having a mixture of both male and female participating, leading the organization. And what I must say that they have done creditably. They have done excellent in some cases in terms of being able to manage the organization. The organization is 32 years now in existence, functioning all year. And therefore, it is really a remarkable situation to see young people take up leadership, bearing in mind that Roxborough Police Youth Club has put a lot of persons in predominant positions throughout Trinidad and Tobago. You will recall that Mrs. Ayanna Webster Roy, present Minister of Government, as a member of Roxborough Police, was a member of Roxborough Police Youth Club. We had Senator Nadine Stewart was a general secretary of the Roxborough Police Youth Club as well. So we would have put out people there in very, very high offices. We do have
our own Janae Campbell is one of those success stories out of the Roxborough Police Youth Club.
Of course. Janae Campbell is, of course, one of our success and one of our leading successful persons, even in as a moving on to tertiary level as well.
All right. Well, ACP Collis here, so we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning and just giving us a little perspective on one of the police youth clubs in Tobago. Of course, the Roxborough Police Youth Club has been doing remarkable work in Tobago for our young people over the past over 2 decades. So I want to thank you again for joining us. It was a pleasure being here with you. And viewers, Yes, it was a wonderful conversation, and we certainly want to wish all the best to our young people throughout Tobago. I want to encourage them to be great and do great things and to take our island forward. But as we're getting ready to wrap up, I just would like to to issue this announcement, and that's Tobago Updates is an independent Tobago-based media company. Tobago Updates is not a subsidiary or owned by any other media entity in the Tobago space. Tobago Updates is an independent company which seeks to contribute to the media landscape in its own unique way while focusing on quality, continuous engagement, and expanding Tobago-based content. All right, folks, and that's just how we'll have to leave it on a Friday morning. So I hope you have a very wonderful weekend, be a very productive day, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now, folks.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Yeah. Hey. Tobago Updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.